1, 2, 3, 4. Kumah, 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 Elohim. 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 שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ. מקום, 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 מקום האלוהים. מקום, 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 מקום האלוהים. שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ. שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ. שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ.
חג שמח, everybody. שבוע טוב. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Hi, hi. Hi, everybody. Nice to see so many of you. Welcome, 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 people I'm used to seeing. Welcome, people I'm not used to seeing. Welcome people in New York and people in Israel and people in Canada and people in Connecticut and people in New York. Welcome everybody. It's really exciting to be here with you guys. We're really excited to kick off this festival, the Kumah Festival. I want to actually the first thing, greetings from San Francisco. Hello. The first thing I want to do actually is give a little thank you to the three women with whom I put this festival together primarily. That's Susan, Judy, and Maya, Judy Miner and Maya Wexler and Susan Myers. We've been working hard, and we're really excited about what we came up with. We're really excited about this direction for the shul, and we're really excited to meet some new people around around these kind of three pieces of what this festival is: faith, art, and politics. Faith, art, politics. We'll talk a little bit more about that soon. There's Samir. Hi, Samir. I see Samir here. I see Eden. Our musicians are here. Eran Fink and Ran Livne. We'll introduce them in a minute. I see Jonathan and Lydia. Hi. I see Joni. There's so many people. It's great to see. So I'll give a little introduction in a few minutes to this Mimuna, to this celebration that we are here for tonight. And but before I do that, let's kind of get comfortable, and let's get some wine out if you got some. Let's get your candles if you got some. And I'd like to invite Georgia and Dave Boonshoft to lead us in the blessing for the wine, followed by the blessing on the candles tonight, because it's a Saturday night, so the order is reversed. Oh, look, Brazil's in the house. Shalom, Daniel. We got people from everywhere. Yafé. So Dave and Georgia.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagofen.
Amen. And Georgia, whenever you're ready for the candles, and if you guys have candles to light for the Yom Tov blessing, I don't know if you guys can even see them here, but we'll try. Whenever you're ready, Georgia.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Yom Tov.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Shal koach. We actually have one more blessing that we have to do before we move forward, which is the Havdalah blessing, in which we normally the end of Shabbat we separate the holy day Shabbat from the not holy days of Sunday. Basically, tonight we're separating two holy days. We're separating Shabbat and a holiday, so our blessing is slightly different, but I'll chant the blessing for us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, ben or lechoshech, ben yom hashvi לששת ימי המעשה. Baruch atah Adonai hamavdil ben kodesh lekodesh. Amen. We're separating holiness from holiness. So, one more blessing. I'm sorry. We need a lot of blessings so that we kick off properly. So we're actually starting a kind of journey tonight. This festival, the Kumah festival, this year is a 7-week-long festival. It starts tonight on Passover, as we are in our imaginations crossing the Red Sea. We're in the middle, we're about to get to the other side. That's our starting point. And it will end in 7 weeks from now on the holiday of Shavuot, when we receive the Torah under the mountain. We'll be there waiting for the Torah to come down. And so we're in preparation. And tonight is the beginning of our preparation to receive this gift. So we have a kind of countdown, or rather a count up, that we say at this time of year called Sfirat HaOmer. So I'm going to invite you guys to say it with me. I think most of you will know most of the blessing. Yeah? So let's try it together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kideshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu. And this you can repeat after me. Al Sfirat HaOmer. And then we say, Hayom Shmona Yamim LaOmer, Shehem Shavua Echad Veyom Echad LaOmer. Today are 8 days to the Omer. We started counting last Saturday night. Today are 8 days to the Omer, which are 1 week and 1 day to the Omer. Okay, and now we're ready to rumble, and I want to start introducing this evening by taking you back to imagine this person who's speaking to you now as a 6-year-old boy in Jerusalem. And this white Ashkenazi child has a best friend, and he's a very dark-skinned Moroccan kid named Alon, who's like a master at soccer. There's nobody who can beat him in playing soccer, and we became very close friends very quickly, and we spent a lot of time together because we were in the same school all the way through until the end of 12th grade. And eventually, a few years into it, his family started inviting me the day after Pesach to this special celebration I had never heard of, called the Mimuna. I had known that it's a thing in Israel because Mimuna Day, the day after Passover, there's lots of barbecues. Wherever you go in Israel, there's barbecues. But I didn't know the reason for these barbecues. And when I got to Alon's house, I found a pretty special scene there. You get there and there's a big, huge table, really long table, covered with sweets, lots and lots of different kinds of sweets, but Moroccan sweets. The ones I remember in particular are things like dates with a stick of butter in the middle of them, looking kind of like Moses in the basket. And then there's another one called zaban. This was my favorite. It's basically a meringue, a type of meringue that it's just delicious. It's just the meringue. If you only like the meringue in a lemon meringue pie, that zaban is for you. So I would actually, Alon's mother, Zehava, used to start a couple years into it. She would give me a whole tub of this stuff to take home. But I would come and be there among all the family, the Moroccans, and they would sit me down. There would be the kind of ceremonies would begin. And somebody would sit down, and one after the other, until it came to me, would be sit down in a chair. And the leaders of the ceremony would take lettuce leaves, big lettuce leaves, dip them in milk, and sing the following song as they slapped the person sitting there in the face with lettuce leaves dipped in milk. Orech yamim u'shnot chaim v'shalom yosifu lecha. May your life be long and rich and beautiful. That's basically what they're talking about, and it goes on and on like that. Now, David and Zehava, the parents, Alon's parents, they were kids when they were kids. In Israel, in the early years of the state, they lived in something called a ma'abara. You guys ever heard that word, a ma'abara? Ma'abara was a refugee camp for Jews of Mizrahi descent, Jews from Arab countries, and that's where many of the Jews from Mizrahi countries, when they came to Israel, that's where they were settled, at least initially. Conditions there were not great. And actually, to this day, there's a lot of discontent and strong feelings about this situation, because essentially the Ashkenazi elite in Israel, they did not treat the Mizrahi Jews as well as they treated the Ashkenazi Jews who came. and it was a difficult, trying thing. Now, what's amazing to me is that they retained nothing of this when they invited me and a few other, Ashkenazi white kids into their celebration. And those, those slaps on the face with the lettuce, they were nothing but love. And it's a special thing. It's a special, ability that they possessed in order to kind of get beyond. And they take it from the origins of this Mimuna ceremony. I learned a little bit about it this week as Ran and I were looking it up and learning things about it. The ceremony originated in Morocco when the Muslim neighbors of the Jews would bring big platters of these, primarily these sweets that I described at the beginning, to their Jewish neighbors at the very end of Passover. So as soon as Passover ended, we, by the way, are doing this ceremony one night early. It's supposed to be tomorrow night. They brought these big platters to their Jewish neighbors, and they sat together and celebrated. And that's when the Jews started doing this in Israel. They were trying to recreate this this beautiful sense of camaraderie and love that existed there in Morocco. Every ritual that you do is kind of artistic, no matter how you play it, because it involves, food and doing stuff like that. So it's got the art. But this one, the reason we're starting this festival with this one is because it's got that political element to it. It's got this element of politics, not politics in the sense of like, the arguments we have between one person and another. The Republicans and the this and the right and the left and all those kind of things, not even politics in the sense of, my country, your country, nationalistic disagreements and hoo-ha, but interpersonal politics, the politics of how we treat one another, what our neighbors mean to us, who they are to us, and how we behave to one another. So we are going to try and take a page, learn a page from the Moroccans tonight. And the way we're going to do this is through a musical celebration of this Gnawa music, which Ran put together for us. And I'm really excited to introduce you all to my friend Ran Livne, who's been a friend and a teacher at the School for Creative Judaism for many years, as well as at the New Shul's Hebrew School. And I turn it over to you, Ran, to kind of introduce what we're doing tonight.
Toda, Misha, hello, congratulations for the festival. Thank you for having us, first of all, you and Susan and all of you. I won't say much about the music. I want you all just to feel it, as I just remember the first time I heard Gnawa music. I heard Samir was playing with us tonight. He played with In of Gnawa. Go check out this band, amazing band. They played in Brooklyn. I remember I heard about them. I took a taxi from the other side of Brooklyn just to make it to the show. And it's one of the best experiences I ever had in my life, hearing this transfer, just amazing music. I'm gonna introduce you to the band. So we have tonight Samir singing with us and playing the gimbri. We have Eden playing the baritone sax and the flute, and we have Eran, who's gonna sing as well and playing the cajon. And just one thing about the music, usually the music for the Mimuna will be what we call Andalus music. It will be from North Africa. The north of Morocco will be closer to Europe. It will have the sound of violin and the oud and a few drummers playing together. What we're doing tonight, we took the traditional music of Morocco called Gnawa. We're going to talk about it later. And we put it together with some PU team, the Jewish PU team for Morocco, as Mimuna is the celebration of joy and bringing peace between people. We are trying to bring the music from different origins together. And I think we're going to hear the first song, which calls Mimuna.
Saha. Saha. Shukran. Shukran كتير يا شباب. Thank you. So can I introduce you guys to Samir? I have a question or two to Samir. Samir, you want to unmute yourself and everybody see him? Samir Langus. There's
Hey.
Samir Langus joining us from North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Welcome, marhaba, ahlan wa sahlan.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. Samir, I understand that you learned this music from the masters in Morocco.
Yeah, I mean, my masters basically just, my dad and my mom, they all play music. You know how a Moroccan family is. Like you'll be waiting for dinner and they're just making music, and then you're like, Mom, we're hungry, we want to eat, and they're just like making music with the dishes. So
Nice. So can you situate us a little bit, because before I forget, I want to encourage everybody who's here, if you have earphones or a Bluetooth speaker, get them, connect them. The music sounds a lot better with the with that addition. So Samir, can you help us? Because I think for most of us, for me for sure, this is the first time I'm hearing Gnawa really. And I'm trying to understand how I'm supposed to listen to this. And what's the scene normally in a kind of Gnawa performance? What does it look like? And how are we is this a kind of trance thing? Is this a concert like in the West when you kind of sit and listen and don't do anything? Do you dance? What happens in Gnawa?
So like if we talk about the performance, it's just like a show, like what we did today with Ran, and there's just like a concert. You kind of mix it and you put like some fusion, to it. But if we're talking about like the traditional Gnawa Lila, it's very spiritual. It's very strict. It's long. We start from 6 p.m. until 6 a.m. So it's the whole night we're just playing Gnawa. And we have, as you see, we have the gimbri here, this is the instrument that we have. It's like a boat, basically. It's like a piece of, like a tree, and it's carved inside. And the skin, it's a camel skin. And the strings are made of goat guts, like the intestines. So that's why you feel that natural sound in it. And it's very, it really grabs you, when you play it. And in a Lila, usually the ceremony is very quiet, is very chill, and people can really get in trance, because we have 7 colors, and each color represents a spirit. So like some people may be possessed by a jinn, and then they may want to go to a Lila, so the jinn can feel healed and relaxed, so can leave that person alone for another year. So like some people, they have to do these Leelas once a year. They inherited it from their grandparents and from their parents, so they just keep on doing it and playing it once a year. And in the States, we do like performances, just like what Ran said. Sometimes we play in a bar called Barbès in New York, and it's like a show, but then you see people really getting in trance, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is not like a 100% Lila, but yes, people can really get in trance, and people can really feel the music, even though if it's like it's just like a casual performance.
Right. Awesome. All right. Well, I think we'll talk more about the Gnawa, and we'll hear more from Samir later. We're going to listen to a few songs. We'll say a word or two between each song, and then at the end of it, we're going to have a little moment for people to ask questions of Samir, Eden, Eran, and Ran, and to get a little bit more of an understanding of what we're going through tonight. But for now, We're going to go on to the next song. It's a song. It's not a traditional Gnawa song. It's a Gnawa style, but it's a piyut called Yotzei Ma'arav, those who left the West, those who left the West. And it is written by Rabbi David Buzaglo, who's a Moroccan rabbi who moved to Israel and then wrote about those who left Morocco, those who left the West. And he writes, it's a long description of Mimuna and the whole celebration, but I'll read you a few lines translated into English. He says, "See the Jews and Arabs sitting down together, entertaining one another with instruments of music. See a Jewish woman dressed in an Arab costume, a Jew in Arab tunic, perfume, myrrh, and incense. The Hebrew looks no different from his Arab friend. And brother, town and village dwellers all share a willing spirit. Boundaries are blurred between Israel and the nations, except for the bloodthirsty rulers of the country. Let peace and freedom rule. Make an end to cries of anguish." Let's make an end to cries of anguish. Here's our next song, Yotzei Ma'arav. Sahten. That's Iran Fink on the drums and the singing, and Eden Bareket on the flute. Shukran, thank you. Ran's gonna introduce our next number.
So from the little research I was trying to do for the evening, I came up with few amazing recordings from Morocco from the 50s, from different tribes, different just areas in the mountains, of Gnawa music and vocal singings and different kinds of Moroccan streams of music. One amazing recording that I found was just a group of Jewish Moroccan people singing piyutim, just a bunch of piyutim. So me and Eden took a few elements, a few ideas from these recordings and put them together into a duet of bass and saxophone. And you can hear it now.
Piyutim, by the way, are devotional poems.
Yes, thank you.
Shagoach. Beautiful. That one's so calming. I feel good now. So our next song is a few verses from the Psalms. It's actually Psalm 42, Tehillim Membet. And it's something Ran and I have been in conversation about for this whole evening. The genesis of it was a conversation between me and Ran about this psalm, because this psalm has a political element. It starts Maskil Livnei Korach, and Korach, as I'm sure many of you know, was the great rebel of the Torah. He stands up to Moses and says, why are you raising yourself up above everybody? We should be making decisions together. And it doesn't end well. God opens up the ground and eats up Korach and his followers. Now there's a midrash, a story that tells us that Korach and all of his followers have been delegated to the deepest, darkest corner of the ocean. That's where they live now. And what are they doing there? They're singing. And some of the Psalms, there's a number of Psalms written by a group called the Children of Korach, Bnei Korach. This is one of them, written by the children of this rebel, who somehow, these folks managed to keep it together and be positive, despite the tremendous, depths of despair that they were in. And so I'll read you one verse that they're going to be singing. Tehom el tehom kore lekol tzinorecha kol mishbarecha vegalecha alai avaru yomam yatzaveh Adonai chasdo uvalayla shiro imi tefila le'el chayai. I'll translate that something like this. One abyss. This is very, we've had many moments, I've had many moments this past year that felt a bit like this. One abyss calls out to the next. Sound moves through the channels from low to low. All of your waves have crashed onto me. By day, the Lord commands his love. By night, her song is with me. A song, a prayer to the God of my life. So this is Psalms 42 in an original composition by the band, created through improvisation on Gnawa forms. Psalm 42. Bevakasha. Hiya, yeah. Yeah. Iran, where'd you learn to sing like that? You're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, thank you. I'm happy to be on this program. It's a pleasure to play this music for all of you. I grew up in a town in Israel called Rosh Ain, which has a lot of Yemenite Jews actually. So I kind of grew up with that sound, which is different from Moroccan music, obviously. But I feel like in Israel, and I'm not pretending to say that my style of singing is authentic to like the Moroccan style or anything. This is just my impression of listening to Gnawa music and listening to other styles of Moroccan music and other styles of North African music.
Iran, sorry, people are having trouble hearing you. Can you try and
Can
speak
you
a
hear me
bit?
better now?
There we go.
Okay, sorry, the gain was down on the mic. Anyhow, so this is, I'm not trying to say that this is like a traditional Moroccan, purely Moroccan way of singing, because I'm influenced by different types of singing. I love Ethiopian music and a lot of other North African music, and I grew up listening to a lot of Yemenite music as well. So I mean, it's all kind of, and I'm Ashkenazi Jew 100%, like I'm Polish Hungarian. So it's just like, this is my impression of how the music sounds to me, and trying to kind of imagine with the context and with the help of Samir, with plays the gimbri, really kind of puts you right in the mood. It's amazing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Toda. Ashira שלך מדהימה. Your singing is really, really amazing. Rosh Ain really did good for you.
Thank you.
יפה. Okay. Well, we have one more song for you guys, and then we'll kind of open up a little conversation. So start thinking of any questions you have. But before then, I wanna turn to Samir one more time, and ask him a little bit about this song. The next song, it's called Boulila. Am I saying that right? Boulila?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So tell me a bit about Boulila, because it sounds to me like this song has a lot to do with the origin of the Gnawa music in general, and where it kind of stems from. Is that a right instinct?
That's super right. I don't know how you got that, but that's true.
So tell me a bit about this song. What is Boulila? What does Boulila mean? What happens in the song?
Okay, so basically the song, it's more about the like the journey of the slaves that came from West Africa to the north, and how they were transported. Some of them were walking the whole journey, like in the desert, and some of them were like in the boats, So it's like basically the song is like Jabuna Jabuna, like they brought us, like some of us are riding the horse and some of us are just walking, and some of us are inside the bags, like we don't know what happened to them, So like, and also talking about the missing home, like I miss my family, I miss my neighborhood, I miss my culture, I miss everything. So, and they separated us from our beloved people, like back where they were from. But they tried to add some, like, some Jewish names into that, and I tried to make it like, sound like some Mimuna vibe,
Beautiful. I think I saw somewhere that Boulila means the chains or the ropes that were like tied up, that would tie the slaves. Is that right, or am I making that up?
No. Actually, those are Boulila. It's like it's in Arabic. It's like Boulila, like the Sahib al-Layla, like the one who's doing the night. Leila is the night. Bu is
Layla.
like the father of the Leila, like Abu Layla, like something like that. But I really don't know the exact origin of, like, the history of the name. Why they call it Boulila? That's the thing with Gnawa music. Nothing is documented. So if you go and speak to a master and you're like, oh, what does this mean? They'll be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm just playing it. So I'm trying to to explain it in a way that makes sense. But sometimes I don't know what makes sense. I'm just like, I just play it.
Awesome. All right. So am I right that the slaves you're talking about, this is a long time ago. This is like 11th century or something like that.
Yeah, we're talking like hundreds of years ago.
Of slaves that were brought from sub-Saharan Africa into Morocco to be soldiers, essentially, as far as I understand. Is that about right?
Some of them were soldiers, for the king, like the Mawla Ismail in Morocco, and some of them had left to Europe and America. And if you see the music, that's why if you listen to jazz and blues, you can feel Gnawa music in it. Gnawa is the origin. Jazz and blues came out of Gnawa. So that's why when you play Gnawa and jazz, they kind of merge together and they blend perfectly, so beautifully. And you can feel even the blues singers, the way how they sing, it's all about pain. It's all about missing home. And that's Gnawa. If you go to South America, that's the same thing there too. So whenever I play with like Cuban musicians, they're like, yeah, we do have this long night ceremonies. I'm like, yeah, that's Africa, like we all, it's just like one, we all came from the same place. And to me, the Gambri is what connects me with all different types of music. Just when I play it, I just feel like, okay, yes, we all belong to one place and we all, love music.
Amen. Amen. All right. Let's hear Bulila. Bulila, and Bulila turns into Hamdulillah somewhere somewhere during the song. Doesn't that happen? Doesn't it?
Yeah, we can make it Alhamdulillah.
Okay, good. All right, so we're gonna hear Bulila, the father of the night, and we're gonna hear Alhamdulillah. Here we go. Bulila.
هلوالي بهولي لو هلالي 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 بهولالي هلا مزيلالي يا دنيا ما يدومو هيا دايم ولانا بولي لا بولي لا قولي على احبابي قولي على اخوتي جابونا سرقونا وباعونا والله لي الله لي الله لي بولي لا سهداني بولي لا والله يرحم بولي لا الله لي الله لي يا الله لي بولاني وانا مجيلاني سرقونا باعونا فخناشي شي راكب شي ماشي الله لي الله لي الله لي بولي لا سهداني بولي لا الله يرحم بولي لا بوليلة الحقن بوليلة داوود بوليلة يا موشي بوليلة يا شمعون بوليلة قولي يا قولي قولي على السودان قولي على احبابي فرقونا باعنا والله لي الله لي الله لي بوليلة سهداني بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة سهداني بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة كالكالي بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة الله لي الله لي الله يلا بوليلة ميمونة بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة داوود بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة الشلم بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة الشلم بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة دنيا الشر بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة ميمونة بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة موروكو بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة موروكو بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة صحة صحة بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة والله بوليلة الله يرحم بوليلة صحة كويو
Why don't we here, you're all invited to unmute for a few seconds and just I don't know, yell out whatever you feel like yelling out to these amazing musicians.
Bravo! Bravo!
Bravo, bravo, bravi tutti. Woo!
Beautiful. Bravi.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Lovely.
So beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It was totally wonderful.
Oh my God. Wow.
So, yes, thank you. Thank you for introducing us guys to this amazing,
Thank you.
yeah. A couple things. So if you guys have questions, you could put them into the chat, or you can raise your hand if you know how to do that, or you can just unmute and ask a question. But there's already been a couple. There was one asking the musicians if your music can be purchased somewhere. So if you guys want to put that in the chat. And Ran just put in the chat also the Venmo if you guys want to give them an extra little something. But anybody have any questions or comments or anything you guys want to share?
I would like to hear the thing about the strings of the instrument being made from intestines. What animal is it? That's so fascinating to me.
Yeah, they're made of like goat.
Goat.
Yeah, it's goat guts, and yeah, they're like from up close a little bit.
So they're thicker than, in a way, very thick, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That's why
Oh.
everything is organic in this instrument, and even the sound of it is very.
I think that's what's so hypnotic about it. It's so, it is. It's totally organic, and it's just such a splendid instrument. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your beautiful playing, everybody. Thank you.
How many strings is that instrument?
Oh, I mean, we do have like 3 strings, just like.
Right.
If you see them.
Yeah.
But to me, like I always call them just 2.5 because the middle string finishes here.
Oh.
Just right here. We don't play it usually with our hands, with the left hand. We just play 2 strings, like the top string and the bottom string. That's all. Just basically like 3 strings, and you just make this, it's Africa, like with 1 string you make music.
Yeah, right. Is it painted on the animal skin?
No, that's the henna. It's the henna decoration.
Oh.
Yeah, it was made by like a woman in Morocco, and it was made for this great mu'allim. His name Hamid Al-Qasri. He's the top musician in Morocco, and he gave me this one as a gift. So I appreciate that.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
You play it with love.
Yeah, it's all about love.
Yeah.
Samira, I have a sense that
your last song reminded me very much of the singer from the Atlas Mountain in Morocco. What's the name of that tribe? The Berber. Very much like the Berber music, and it's lovely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's it has that vibe in it.
It has some in it, right?
Yeah.
Can you sing more of that music?
Of the Bulila?
No, the Berber music from the mountain, from the Atlas Mountain.
Oh, like I mean, I'm Amazigh. I'm Amazigh too, but I'm from the south. Like in the north, they speak different dialect, but I can sing one actually. About the mother. It's about Imihna, like my lovely mother. So I'm gonna sing it in Tamazight, which is like I never sing like this in public. Like I always, it's just me, singing about it. But I'm gonna try to do it.
Thank you.
امي حنا كفرة بغتاسة ولا ولي امي حنا كفرة بغتاسة ولا ولي انت تتسون فود ورف الناس تمتهلي انت تتسون فود ورف الناس تمتهلي صبري طازيت نبات شكل لاحك وراي صبري طازيت نبات شكل لاحك وراي احايا يقاني قيق الموت موت الناسي يغامد باباسي قسموني تمغاريني امي حنا كفرة بغتاسة ولا ولي امي حنا كفرة بغتاسة ولا ولي.
Thank you, lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. This song, it's like from this like amazing like Amazigh band, and it's basically the singer, he sang it, you know, after his mom died, and that's when he's like.
We don't hear you.
No, we can hear you. We can hear you, Samir.
You're muted now.
Oh.
Now you're muted.
No, because I stopped.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the song is about this guy, like, you know, his mom died, and, you know, that's when, and his dad, you know, went and he just stopped, playing around and just, you know, like marrying other women and just not taking care of his kid, basically. So the kid is like, you know, singing about his mom that, you know, look at me, like, you know, as soon as my mom died, my dad went and he just totally forgot about me. So it's all about, you know, love to the mother, you know, and we love you, mothers, you know, of all over the world, and, you know, yeah, that's what the song is about.
It was wonderful. It sounds almost like you're playing the instrument in one key and singing in a different.
Yeah, that's the African way. Like, you know, nothing is exact, you know, everything is just like, you know, it's just out there, you know, like however you feel it, you just play it and you just sing it.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Thank you.
There's a connection between the Berber and the Jews in Morocco. When we were there, we were told that there might have been some mixing of the two people at different points long time ago.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Tinghir or if you go to Agadir, like, or in Essaouira too, like in the Mellah, like it's all Jew, and, you know, most of those people, like, they are in the mountains and they speak Tamazight and they are Berber as well. And they just live to, you know, even though we have like some old Amazigh movies, and there is like, actually there is like a Jewish personality in the movie. And, you know, they were just like, you know, and his name was Mushi. And, you know, so I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. So it's like, you know, that's part of the history. And that's why I'm very proud and very happy to just be surrounded by so many Jewish. And, you know, most of my friends are all Jewish, and, you know, I'm the only Muslim guy in the room, you know, but you're like, you know, yeah, here we are.
Hey, you're probably part Jewish somewhere back.
I know, you never know. Like, I have to do my DNA and see, like, because I'm sure I have some Jewish in me. I think I do.
You know, speaking of, I'm looking at Samir and Eden are next to each other, and Eden's grandfather is Moroccan. He's a rabbi, and if you guys look at them, you'll see. Look, they look kind of the same.
Yeah, it's true. Right?
No, just kidding. We had one question. Somebody's asking about the how old this music is, and how would you answer that, Samir?
I think it's like 400 years old, and, you know, it's super old. But it in Morocco, like, this is not how the Gmbri was in the first place. It was not like this. It was not like this in this cute shape. Now we have a pickup for it, you know, so you can have a good clean sound. Back then, it was just like a piece of wood, just like maybe one string. The tuning was very complicated, but now you cannot do the count. So basically from here to here, this is how traditional this instrument is. There is no measurement, there is nothing. You just use your finger, your hand, and you just do like this, and then you add like 2 fingers, and that's basically that's the first note for the, you know, the spot for the first string. And then you do the same thing and you add 2 more fingers. But I'm like, what if someone has big hands and big fingers? Like, how that's gonna make sense, you know? So each instrument sounds different. Like, you are not, even if you make them the same way, the same materials, they will never sound the same.
Thank you. Michael Posnick, I think, had a question.
Yeah, Samir, first of all, thank you and your beautiful band.
Thank you.
For really hypnotic music. I had the sense that this music could go on a whole night or a whole day, that there's no reason to stop it. And I was just wondering, like, when you play for yourself, does it just go on and on and on and on?
I mean, when I play for myself, it just I just cry most of the time. That's why, you know, I try to avoid that as much as I can, because it's basically, that's my drug, you know. That's how I feel. It's just playing Gnawa, and especially when you go to Morocco, it's like it's a long night ceremonies, and you don't want it to stop. Like, so even though, and we have this big metal castanets, I didn't bring them because they're so loud. And imagine you have 6 pairs of these castanets, and the instrument, which is the gimbri, has no amplification. So it's all acoustic, but you can still hear so much castanets, and that puts you in a trance. And it's just like the rhythm keeps just going like this. For like minutes and minutes, and you just like, you know, keep on like listening. So I recommend, like, whomever goes to Morocco, try to go to Essaouira. I mean, you're gonna be exposed to Gnawa as soon as you land in Morocco. You're gonna be like, oh, Gnawa is everywhere now. Okay, that's beautiful.
Is this your prayer, Samir? Is this your prayer, this music?
Yeah, I mean, music to me, it's like it's love, and it just connects people, like, regardless of your religion or your beliefs or everything that you do. So as soon as you play music, you can put people all together, and it's like, I'll give you, like, we used to hang in a studio in Bushwick called Wilson Live. The guys know about it. Like, it's owned by Omar Vital and some my Israeli Jewish friends. So most of the night they invite me. They're like, Samir, come, let's hang. So one day I went, we're playing, like, you know, like Gnawa song, and the response for this song is like Allah. It's like God in Islam, like Allah. So like I was singing like Ma'budullah, and then I'm like, you guys have to say Allah. So they were all saying Allah, Allah, Allah. And then I told them, okay, congratulations, you guys just converted to Islam. And they were just like, you know, cracking up, all of them. It's just like, that's how beautiful is the music is, you know, just gets people together, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, thank you, Samir.
I have a question. It is beautiful music, Samir. How similar is it to the music in Mali, griot music?
It's the same.
It's the same, because griot is really the precursor of jazz, of blues. That's where blues came from. I mean, that's what they claim. But also, so now I get the context. It's the same music, isn't it?
Yes, Gnawa came from the griot. Gnawa came from all that West African music.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a couple questions here, and then we'll move on and kind of close up. But there's a couple questions about the accompaniment and how people kind of join in. The people, are there specific dances? Are there specific kind of, you said this Allah, Allah. There was the Bulila. Is that what people do when they're watching it? They kind of join in on Allah or Bulila and dance around in a particular way, or is it?
I mean, if we are in a performance, it's very open. If it's like just on a stage, it's okay. People can dance however they feel the music. But if you are in a ceremony, it's very strict. The audience has to be quiet. Only the musicians are allowed to do the respond. You cannot be talking. There is no smoking. There is no alcohol. Everything has to be strict, and that's why these ceremonies are very sacred, and people have to respect them. And you cannot just be like, even the dance, you have to dance, because the master who's playing the gambri is gonna look at your feet, how you dance, and he's gonna know if you're really dancing or you're just faking it. So it's very strict. Like, you cannot just be like, try to be like doing some crazy dance. They're gonna put you down. You'll be like, no, get out of, like, no, you shouldn't be doing that. It's very strict. If you guys have a chance to witness a Gnawa Lila, like a Gnawa night ceremony, that will be, you guys will know what I'm talking about.
I'm in. I'm gonna try and I'm ready to get my ticket to Morocco and go find me some Gnawa Lila.
Gnawa Lila will find you.
Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. So we're going to close off with two things. We're gonna do the Mourner's Kaddish, and we thought it would be appropriate during this festival that each time we do the Mourner's Kaddish, we're going to mention one person who died from COVID, and we'll invite, if there's anybody else that you're thinking of, to think of that person as well. But tonight, I'm thinking in particular of a friend of mine who I've known my whole life, named Felix Amar, who he had a little bodega, a little grocery store in Katamon in Jerusalem, around the corner from my parents' place, and came from Morocco to Israel, when he was a little boy, and was the warmest, just the warmest face, one of those people who you see their face and you feel warmth and love. So that's Felix Amar, and I invite you, if you're thinking of anyone in particular at this moment, in this night, please feel free to speak their names. And if you'd like to rise, I welcome you to rise and speak the words of the Kaddish with me. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריך הוא לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. And I'm going to pass it on to Judy Miner to give us some announcements. Hey, Judy.
I think Ron wants to say something first.
Okay,
I see
good.
him raising his hand.
Thank you. I just saw in the chat a few times people ask about all of our music together. So just to understand, we are putting this music together just for tonight. Hopefully we're going to play together soon and maybe record some music. But each one of us, Samir, Eden, Eran, and me, we have our own projects. For example, me, Eden, and Eran, we're playing with really cool Ethiopian music band. And Samir have his own music going on. Eden put it out a few albums. So I'm just going to write down in the chat the websites of each one of us. If you want to check more music, you're welcome to do it. And thanks again.
Amazing. And I bet we can add that to our website as well, because I know I want to track that down. Okay, so thank you all so much. The Kumah Festival continues next Sunday, April 11th at 11 a.m., easy to remember, 11 at 11. It will be our Yom HaShoah event, where we will be taking a good close look at commemoration in various forms, featuring many different musical talents, including our very own Nushul co-founder Ellen Gould. It'll also feature a very personal connection to Nushul member Susan Berger and her parents in 1938 in Germany and Poland. And we will also be continuing our international trend with a very special guest who's joining us from Poland. This is definitely one not to miss. So if you haven't registered yet, please do so at newshul.org, where you will see this event that's coming up and all the other ones of the Kumah Festival. So thank you for coming tonight, and we very much look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, Judy. I want to say one more time, Toda Rabba to Eden Bareket, Toda Rabba to Eran Fink, Toda Rabba to Samir Langus, and Toda Rabba to Ran Livne. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys all for being here. What a beautiful beginning. And Chag Sameach, and looking forward to more. Lots of love to everybody.
That was terrific.
That was great.
What a great beginning.
Yeah. What Toda Rabba?
Thank you very much.
1, 2, 3, 4. Kumah, 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 Elohim. 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 שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ. מקום, 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 אלוהים. מקום, 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 אלוהים. שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ. שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ. שופטי הארץ, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ, שופטי, שופטי, שופטי הארץ.
Good night, everybody. Chag Sameach.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. Chag Sameach. Thank you.
Leila Tov. Kumah, 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 Elohim, kumah, kumah. Kumah, 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 Elohim, kumah, kumah.